Deadlock was just recently released to the public within the past few months, and with this I've been playing it nearly daily. And as I've played, I've seen plenty of mistakes I was making, and today I wanted to share some of those common mistakes that I made solo landing, why they're bad, and as well as the solution to correct those mistakes as well. Like, comment, subscribe, and you can also check out my Discord where I will post my stream schedules weekly. So the first mistake I think players make in the early game, it has to be chasing kills instead of souls. This is because of 3 reasons. The first reason has to be simply because of soul value. Kills early game only roughly give you about 200 souls, whereas you can get upwards of 400 by simply just confirming all of your souls and denying most of the enemy souls. Reason number 2 has to be the resources you trade for each kill. Each attempt you make at a kill costs you health, abilities, and stamina. If you're not careful with your trades, you'll end up dead, especially with the early game regen rate being as low as it is. My third reason is respawn timers. Near the early game, your respawn timer is at 8 seconds. This only starts to increase around the 5-minute mark, so your respawn timers are always going to stay relatively short in your early laning stage. Couple this with your zipline travel time being around 14 seconds. That means you have roughly a 22-second time window between dying and returning back to your lane. This doesn't mean you shouldn't be trying to get kills though. You should be applying pressure while protecting yourself from unfavorable trades. I would try balancing troops and kills, as this is what you should strive for in nearly every lane. For my next mistake, I want to talk about positioning. Now this is a whole larger topic, possibly for a future video, but for this one I want to quickly touch on a small piece of it. If you're on the open on the enemy side, this not only leaves you vulnerable to your opponent, but also to ganks as well. And on the flip side, maybe playing too passive. Playing too long under your tower gives your lane mate free reign of your side of the map, allowing them to control the souls, farm, and get damage off in your tower, often resulting in a 4-minute tower loss. Even watching back this video, I can see that a mistake I'm making is I'm playing too far up. I am being too aggressive, and I've killed this 7 a lot. I should have known Ivy is coming in for a gank. Even though you wouldn't be able to see this on the map, it's still important to be in the enemy's head and think, I'm being a threat with my soul lead. I should have backed, bought some items, and come back another time. And now back to your regularly scheduled program. Instead, try playing towards the middle. This helps give you more control over your lane, allowing it to lean whichever way you want. This also provides enough cover to let you protect yourself from a gank. You should choose carefully when and where you play up on their tower. Check your map while you're on their side, and always have an escape plan. The third mistake I'd say people make is often not looking at their map. Ironically, the majority of your screen is not the most important thing going on in the game, but instead this tiny circle on the bottom of your screen. What you don't see on this map is just as important, if not more so, than what you do see. If you do see both enemies in the duo lane next to you, then you're safe to push up. However, if one or both go missing, especially if they're high mobility characters such as Krill, Haze, and Lash, then you should probably play more back and careful, as a gank might be incoming. It's also important to keep track of allies, as I've had them come in unannounced and try and gank. Often this ends up with them dying, as I was not prepared to support them. Now technically this is not your fault, but as a teammate it's still good to coordinate with people and let them know when it is an appropriate time to come and help you versus when they should be focusing on their own lane. My fourth mistake has to be timing, and what I mean by that is learning when and where things spawn. For example, at the 2-minute mark your tier 1 creep camps spawn, so at 2 minutes, you should try your best to farm those creeps to increase your soul value. Another thing to keep out for is the bridge buffs on each side. At the 10-minute mark you can grab these and they'll give you a varying buff to either gun damage, spirit damage, your overall health, or maybe movement. Each of these buffs are beneficial for your character, as you know, who doesn't like a good little pick-me-up? And for my final mistake, that has to be not abusing the movement in this game. I mean, come on. The movement is something else in this game, and just practicing it at least for a few minutes a day will really stand out in your gameplay. Small trick I do is I wall bounce off of the bridge by walking up to it, pressing space, and pressing space S at the same time. And then I charge up a punch which throws you forward, landing on top of the bridge. This gives you a high ground and wastes no stamina. There's a similar jump you can do by jumping to the side off this pillar, and it gets you up there quicker. Another thing I think people don't do enough is parry. When you lane against people like Abrams and Shiv, who more often than not run melee builds, it's very important to incorporate parry into your kit, as it allows you to get nearly 2 free melees off and possibly kill them with just one simple button. The thing you can do is try to bait out those melees. Typically, people like to fly around corners all stylish and punch you. Well, if you predict this and bait around a corner and then press F as soon as you hear them charge the punch, gives you a free stun, makes them look stupid, and gives you a free kill. You can see me attempting this here with Pocket, although I use my briefcase instead of parrying, the same logic applies. To fix these mistakes, you should 1. Focus souls over kills, 2. Be aware of your positioning and always have an escape plan, 3. Keep an eye on the map for ganks, 4. Be aware when and where stuff spawns, and 5. Wall jump to get on top of the ledges. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is my first video, so any critiques you guys may have, be glad to hear them. I do have more ideas on the way. That would probably be trying to be a weekly schedule of some sorts. Please check out my description where I'll have my Twitch, Discord, where I post my stream schedules and whatnot. Other than that, I appreciate you all for watching to the end, and I love you all. Have a good night.